What's up everyone, welcome to Ashley Talks Movies and welcome to my review of Nobody 2. This is the sequel to Nobody, which came out in 2021, and it ended up being a modest box office hit despite coming out during the pandemic at a time when many movie theaters hadn't fully reopened. Directed by Timo Gianto, Nobody 2 stars Bob Odenkirk, who returns as Hutch Mansell, a family man who also happens to be a professional assassin. After a rough assignment, Hutch decides he needs to take a break and spend more time with his wife Becca, played by Connie Nielsen, and their two kids who feel neglected. The family packs their bags for a summer vacation to Plummerville, a small resort town that Hutch visited as a kid, but Hutch's plans for peace and quiet don't last long, and he soon catches the attention of the locals who are involved in a criminal enterprise. Before I jump into the review, do me a favor, make sure you subscribe, that way you can keep up with everything I'm posting on the channel, including all of the movie reviews, entertainment news, and more.
I've come to terms with the fact that you don't have an average job.
You guys having fun at the convention?
But we haven't seen you in months.
What happened to your eye?
Somebody fouled me at the game.
What game?
The one you missed.
When the first Nobody came out, it was often compared to the John Wick movies, which makes sense because it had some similarities, and not just because some of the same people behind John Wick also worked on Nobody, but also because the story centered around an unassuming guy who had a violent past and had to revisit that violent past when provoked. But having Bob Odenkirk in the lead role definitely gave the movie a different kind of edge, and even though I had some nitpicks about it, I thought Nobody was a very entertaining action movie. Just like the first movie, Nobody 2 delivers plenty of bloody and violent action, but the sequel leans more into the absurdity of its premise and has a lighter tone than its predecessor. What I liked about Nobody 2 is that it understood how to move the characters and the story forward. One of the fun things about this concept is that Hutch is the kind of guy that no one suspects as someone who can outpower and outmaneuver armed guys half his age. So the movie has to find ways to put him in situations where he's constantly underestimated. Bob Odenkirk slides back into the role of Hutch so well. He's great as the unlikely hero who's able to take on several bad guys at once, and the physicality he continues to deliver is incredibly impressive. The rest of the cast is also really solid. Connie Nielsen gets a bit of an upgrade here. Her character Becca gets more development this time around, with the story dipping a little bit into her backstory and giving her a chance to have some fun with the action. Christopher Lloyd, who returns as Hutch's dad, provides some of the best laughs of the movie. And you also have some newcomers who do a really great job, including Colin Hanks as the town's belligerent sheriff and Sharon Stone as a crime boss named Lindina. And out of everyone in the cast, she seems to be having the most fun. Her character is so unhinged and vicious and evil, but Stone is completely hamming it up, and I actually really enjoyed her performance. This movie has really good action that showcases some really great choreography and stunt work. It's over the top, but it's also really inventive in the different ways ordinary objects are turned into lethal weapons in those scenes. There's also a fun sequence that takes place on a duck boat, as well as a Home Alone-esque sequence at the amusement park. The story's more convoluted this time around, with more side characters and side plots, and not all of them are interesting or tied together well, and even the comedy here is a bit hit or miss. This movie leans more into the silliness and absurdity of the plot, but the humor doesn't always land. There's a decent amount of dry humor and physical gags, but the rest of it falls pretty flat. Despite its shortcomings, I thought Nobody 2 was entertaining. It's not better than the first movie or as tightly plotted, but it's packed with action, has some solid performances, has some truly funny moments, and it's really just a fun time. So those are my thoughts on Nobody 2, which is out in theaters this weekend. Do you plan on seeing it? Let me know in the comments. While you're here, like and subscribe, and stick around for more videos like this.